Yes. Mourinho keeps his job for now. I'm happy for now. But that's just for today. Um, just off the bat, obviously different looking angle, I guess. This got a chair to sit on now. The way they got the computer set up, it works. I like this angle, and it's more comfortable because I have something to lean back on, so it works for me. And also because the rapidly changing weather here in Georgia, my sinuses are really acting up. So if you hear me sniffling, that's why. Just a lot of stuff up here. It doesn't feel good. But anyway, Chelsea versus Porto at Stamford Bridge. Needed the win. Uh, would have done with a tie, but a win is really what we needed, and it's what we got. 2-0. Gonna go ahead and say it. The lineup was okay today. No Fabregas, thank goodness. Just if you see my other reviews, you know that the past few games I keep saying that he's been playing poorly, and so to see the fact that he's not in today, Ramirez, he's a good player. Defensively he's good. Offensively, he provides more on the counterattack than he does as far as Fabregas will send that one ball every now and then in behind that is a good ball. Ramirez provides more defensive and then more speed on the counterattack. But in this game, I prefer to see Ramirez in over Fabregas because we need to shore up the defense. We need to make sure that we don't lose. So you got the lineup, which is okay. Terry's back. That's fine. I especially like Terry and Zuma because you got the elder experience with the youth. He's growing. He's growing mentally. He's physically. He's ready. He's strong. He's fast. He's what we need at center back. As Billy Queta, he looked a little iffy today. I think. I don't know why. He just a couple of decisions. He was flying into challenges, so they cut past him and he's beat. So he seemed like he was trying to prove a point or something. Like he was flying into everything and just playing too fast and playing too rushed. So I don't know why he didn't play in the weekend. He really should have been. And I thought Baba Rahman and Espilicueta would have been a good pick for this game, just because Baba Rahman's been playing well in the Champions League, but not in the Premier League. But since Baba played in the weekend, obviously you don't want to play him. He's still young, so you can't play him 2 games in a row. Last time they did that, who was that? I think it was against. Who was that against? I think it was against Stoke. Like he played in midweek against Dynamo, and then played him in the weekend against Stoke, and he just got tore up. So playing Ivanovic 2 games back to back, it's not going to hurt you. I don't think he did much to help either. He was okay defensively. Still have a couple issues with his play, just getting pulled out of position, not seeing what's behind him. The ball gets crossed, and he's so late to get there that he gets there and they cut him and he's beat. So defensively, still some issues that they didn't get shown until really the second half. Porto started picking some chances, but at that point it's already 2-0. So it was a little bit of a worry. Like, don't let them get a goal to get them back into it. But they did okay in the defense. Midfield had a good game. Didn't really have many issues. A couple misplaced passes here and there, but overall, he held the midfield really well. Ramirez did his job, being that speedy midfielder that just beats players to the ball. Hazard had a really great game, in my opinion. I hate the fact that he didn't score because that's the one thing everybody keeps talking about, and it's the one thing that people keep judging him on. It's like, he hasn't scored since da-da-da. I'm just... So? He played very well today. He's threatening the defense. He's causing issues for the back line. That's what you want him to do. You want him to be a constant threat. Even if he doesn't score, if he's creating chances, well, that's another chance for you to score. And even if his chance doesn't go in, oftentimes that will create another chance or something like that. And he did get an assist today, so. Willian had another solid game. He's just, if Espilicueta hadn't been playing so great at the beginning of the season, I'd say Willian has been the man of the season, just from his goals and from his work ethic. He's just been working so hard for the team. Uh, but he did have a few games at the beginning where it was kind of like he's not really involved. Um, but once he got going, he's just been on fire. Got a good goal today. Oscar, I thought, played very well. He just makes people for fun, I guess. Like he had a few megs against Tottenham, and then today he got a few megs. And I mean his distribution is really good right now. I really do appreciate the way he passes the ball and he moves it around. He does it very masterfully. And when you put him in the side with Hazard and with Willian, and even when Fabregas is when his passes are not crap, which hasn't been recently, but back in when Fabregas was actually playing well, they would combine all four of them. Willian, Hazard, Oscar, Fabregas, all of them were combining so well. It's just boom, 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 and then ball over to Costa or something and goal. Um, and that was Chelsea last year. That was when they were really taking it to teams and really controlling the game. Um, but recently it's been more. They've been kind of hesitant. They're just like, okay, we got possession. What do I do with it now? And still moments in this game where it's like, come on, guys, like they have these moments where they're not releasing the ball when they should, or they're trying to dribble one extra player when they should just pass it off. Um, and so that's as far as the midfield goes, they did have a good midfield uh, for this game, and they did play well. They still have moments that they've got to fix if they want to be the best team in England again. Because doing it against doing it against Dynamo, doing it against Maccabi, doing it against Porto, they're not going to really hurt you. Whereas teams in the Premier League are going to fight. It doesn't like we just saw on the weekend. Bournemouth, they're going to fight. They're going to fight no matter what. They fight hard. They fight strong. So if you're not being clinical with your finishes, if you're not being decisive with your passes, with your movements, teams are going to hurt you in the Premier League. It doesn't matter who you're playing. So, they've still got some work to do there, but looking better. Costa also looking better, but still moments where if he's not getting the pass that he wants, he's done. He makes a great run in. Hazard doesn't have the pass, so he cuts it back. Costa flings his hands up in the air and stands. Ball comes in behind, and he's still standing off sides because he's given up on the play. Still frustrating moments like that. That was just one in particular. Not as many today, though, because in the past few games, obviously, he hasn't been starting. But when he was starting, it was like he wasn't making the right runs. And when he did, he was off sides because he's making them too soon. Or if he makes a run, he stops after that one breaks down. Or if he loses the ball, he's done making the run. Still also too many moments where it's like just play. Just play. There's a couple moments where a guy comes in to the challenge and Costa goes down. And he's got the strength to hold him off. We've seen he's got the strength to hold him off. And instead of bodying him off the ball or something, he just falls over, looking at the referee. Hey, and it's like you had a chance to score. Just take it in. Stop falling around on the ground. So that's frustrating to watch. But he did have a better game today, and that is good to see that he's kind of he is getting better. Because I was really worried after what happened with Mourinho that he was just gonna fall off the map or something. But overall, they worked better together instead of one guy doing all the work while everybody else stands off the ball. There were people making runs off of the other runs. Costa's actually making runs so that the midfield can make their runs off of him. So that they worked well together, and that's what's really important, I think. And one thing that really needs to be addressed is that to continue on from here, you really have to keep playing like that. You have to keep playing hard together. You can't just have one guy doing all the work while everybody else watches him, because that hasn't been working, obviously. But yeah, just they played better today. Really, You could see that they were playing better. There's still, like I've been saying, there's still moments where still gotta ask some questions of a couple players. You gotta keep working hard all the way through. You can't stop like this in the Premier League, or else you're beat. But yeah, it's good to see that they made it through. I was adamant that if they didn't make it into the Champions League, if they didn't make it into the next round, Mourinho needed to be sacked, because this is the last chance really. Um, Trying to think if there's anything else. As far as subs, I still have a problem with how long Mourinho's waiting to make the subs, because the, Porto keeps attacking and attacking and attacking, and they're getting all these really good chances, and it's the 75th minute, and not even the sub is warming up. He doesn't even make a sub till I think the 80th minute, and at that point it's just like they've already had like 5 good chances, and they really probably should have scored one of them. So it's only really luck that they haven't gotten one back yet. And I kept wondering, are you just gonna wait until they get one back? Is that your plan? Like you're holding on to your subs until they bring the game back? Like, why would you do that? You make the subs when you're ahead to kind of shut out the game. That's what Mourinho does. That's what we've known him for. When they go up 2, you put in some players to kind of keep the game. And to be honest, I was trying to think of who to put on, who to take off, and Mikel is kind of a player who this year is not really. He is that player you bring in when you're 2-0 up and you just kind of want to sit back on the lead. But at the same time, this year he's been pretty poor. And so I was like, well, you can put in Pedro, who just works hard on and off the ball. Really works hard defensively, which he did, and Pedro did. Just a little long in coming, I thought. And then, you got Kennedy on the bench, you got Remy on the bench, you got Cahill on the bench. So you got all these players that you could put in that would add a bit of something. Kennedy and Remy, I thought you put in just to have them run, because they're both fast. Just have them run. Just chase the ball. Just chase players down. Put a lot of pressure on them so that they're not able to just make these easy passes. Because that's when Porto found the most joy against us, is that you've got all these players who are not pressing. They're kind of standing off. And it's so easy. And teams have been doing this to Chelsea all season long. I'm surprised it's still an issue. You're standing so far off your players that the ball comes in. By the time you step to them, they've already made the pass, made a run around you. And it's so easy to just 1-2. They're constantly finding space because nobody's pressing. They're all kind of standing off like, yeah, have the space. I'm just like, no, that's when teams score, whenever they get space inside. So I thought that they, when Chelsea was pressing, that's when they were really like just dominating the game. And so I thought, put some players out there who are going to do that. Pedro loves to run, just put him out there. Kennedy does too. Remy at times does. But, Pedro came on for Oscar, which was an okay change. I thought that Oscar, I didn't think that he deserved to be taken off. I thought defensively he was doing well, and his passes were really good. But then again, it's like Hazard and Willian are both playing really well too. So I guess of the 3, Oscar may have been the best choice, I guess. I did think, though, Hazard should have come off a bit earlier because you've got Leicester in the weekend. Actually, no, it's Monday, so never mind. Scratch that. I guess it's okay to let him play for a little while. So he comes on, good change. Mikel on for Costa, defense. I'll take it, I guess. Which, at that point, I mean, Mikel was kind of just non-existent. So I didn't really see anything from him. And then Remy on for Hazard, which give Remy a chance to kind of get out there and do some stuff, which he did. He did put a lot of pressure on the defense, and so where do we stand from here? I don't know. It's kind of a Porto team that looked defeated after they got scored on the first time. Their defense was pretty sloppy. They didn't really have much of an attack. They were talking about Abubakar was on the bench, and he was. You've got your recognized striker on the bench, which, Against Chelsea at home last year, yeah, go for a false nine. Makes sense. Against Chelsea this year, you should know that you get the most joy when you press Chelsea high. You put a lot of pressure on them. You get your striker up there who's going to run around and who's going to put high pressure. So I thought Porto made some poor decisions that led to their downfall, and I thought Chelsea got lucky on some moments. So I don't think that this is. I don't think they're back yet. And I know I've been saying this against Norwich, against Maccabi, against Tottenham. Everybody was like, "No, they're looking better. They're back," and then they lose 1-0 to Bournemouth at home. So same thing. Beat 2-0. Beat Porto 2-0 at home. They're still not back. They're looking better. Each game they're getting better in certain areas. Players are getting better. Hazard is he is this close to being where he was last season. Just the finish is what we've been lacking. Willian, I think, he's already there and he's getting better than that. Costa's started his way up, but there's still too much lacking in certain areas where Porto nearly exploited and probably should have exploited, but they just were not good enough tonight. So don't take too much from this result, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, keep working hard, keep working together as a team, and then we can put some results together, and then we can kind of say, okay, we're getting back to it. But for right now, it's still kind of, I'm hesitant to say anything about, we're back, we're going to win, because things are still looking a little iffy. And against a hardworking Leicester team this weekend, Monday, they're really going to press high. They're really going to put a lot of pressure. So if Chelsea's not ready to take that pressure and kind of work together as a team and put pressure on themselves, they're going to get run around all day long, because Leicester is just that type of team that are going to work hard and just break you down. So that's what I think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments. Leave a like and subscribe if you love Chelsea and you bleed blue like my walls. And I'll see you at the next game. Peace out.